I'm Adam Anschel for Pro Football Weekly with a look at the early highlights from the NFL Draft. It's presented by Verizon Fios. I'm joined by senior editor Eric Edholm. And Eric, things got off to a big start, a wild start, and that was before the first pick was even made.
Yeah, I think it was interesting. I think people were waiting for the reaction to Roger Goodell, the commissioner, coming to the podium. It wasn't friendly. It wasn't really kind when he got up there. A lot of boos, and I think you can understand. And I think even Roger could understand when he got up there. Some initial booing. People are upset with the lockout. They're upset with all the labor talk. The emphasis has been put away from the football field and onto lawyers and courtrooms and things like that. I don't think he expected it to be sustained as long as it did. That was the thing that surprised me, and he kept saying, I get it, we want football too. It's a little awkward exchange there.
Yeah, it was before the draft started. They had the future Hall of Famers on the stage, along with all of the players and prospects that were present at the draft. Goodell wasn't the only one that got booed when they announced Cam Newton, also booed by the crowd, but that didn't stop the Panthers from taking him first.
I think a lot of people have probably read the Pro Football Weekly report on Newton. He's obviously had a past that's been checkered at times. Some people have put him under the microscope. And the Panthers clearly like what they saw. They came out feeling comfortable about Newton as a person, as a player, as a teammate. All those things made him the number one pick. Certainly a huge risk. We understand what goes into taking a quarterback number one. Cam Newton is a rare example of a guy that doesn't have a lot of experience and is coming from a different system. It's going to be very interesting to follow his career.
Well, it wasn't a huge shock there that the Panthers took Newton. The big surprise came at number 6. The Cleveland Browns were on the clock, and a huge trade by the Atlanta Falcons, moving up 21 spots to get in that spot.
I think everybody knew the Falcons needed to get more team speed, especially at wide receiver. That was evident in the loss to Green Bay. It was just one of the things that held them back and kept them from being a Super Bowl contender. I think what surprised people was how much they gave up to move up there, giving up a number one this year, a number one next year, a second rounder this year, and a fourth rounder next year. That's a huge bounty to get a receiver who many people thought was the second best wideout in this group. If you're Tom Heckert and the Browns, you're doing backflips right now. This was a haul for them. You looked at 6. What was their biggest need? They could have gone so many different directions. A lot of the players they looked at all ended up sliding a few picks. I think they made a great choice. They're going to still get very good players in this draft. So many needs across the board. They're rebuilding that defense.
For the Falcons, you better hope that Julio Jones is a star receiver. Otherwise, that was a huge haul to give up. Wasn't the only trade early, though. Number 10, the Redskins were on the clock. They had quarterbacks still available, some there, but they decided to move.
Yeah, I think it was shocking with Blaine Gabbert on the board. Everyone said Mike Shanahan wanted that out-of-the-pocket, athletic quarterback who can sling the ball down the field, has some Jake Plummer-like characteristics, and yet they traded out. They moved down. Jacksonville got the quarterback with Gabbert. First of all, good move by them. I mean, they haven't had a lot of excitement. Now they have a guy who can compete with David Garrard. Doesn't have to step in on day one. It's a nice little transition they've got there. It's got to build some excitement, and they've got to boost that offense, no question about it. For the Redskins, boy, I like the move. When was the last time they actually collected draft picks? Usually they're just giving them away. So this is a smart move. They come back and get their pass rusher and Ryan Kerrigan later in the round, and they pick up a second-round pick. And having extra picks is very rare in D.C.
A lot of fireworks to start this, a very fast-moving first round. It'll continue as we keep going. That is a look at the early highlights from the NFL Draft. For the best draft coverage, be sure to follow us on Twitter or go to ProFootballWeekly.com.